Hello from Gardening at Douentza here in Ireland, and in this video today I am going to show you these beautiful plants that I have recently purchased. So we were in lockdown for more than 100 days, and being a gardener I was just itching to get out and about to garden centres and pick myself up some new garden plants to put in this new border I'm planting. So let's have a look at these gorgeous plants, and during the course of the video I am going to tell you the one and only best rhododendron to buy. And you are very welcome to this video where I show you my recent guilty purchases. No, not guilty. I don't feel guilty about this at all. These are good garden plants that my garden is going to love. And I have some real beauties here, and some that I have grown before and loved and know to be really good garden plants. And I'm going to talk you through them all. And we're going to start right over here with this Aquilegia. Now this here is a beautiful hybrid Aquilegia. So it's not a species, and the result of that is that it flowers for a very long time because it doesn't set seed, and that's a wonderful thing to have in your garden. And if you look back and see the video I made some time ago about growing Aquilegias, then you will have seen this beauty in there, and this is the same one that is in that video, and I'm just really pleased to have found another one again. I always said if I see more of this I will get more of this, and that's exactly what I've done. So leaving behind the Aquilegia, which of course we grow for its beautiful flowers, we now turn down to a light and airy beautiful plant that I guess is chiefly grown for its gorgeous dark purple foliage. And this is very much a light and airy plant that produces sprays, umbels I guess, of white flowers that kind of float in the border. So it's not something that's going to create any sense of heaviness. You're talking light, you're talking airy, you're talking beautiful, and that's the kind of touch and feel that I want for this border that I'm planting up. And I also think that this glorious dark foliage is going to look super with the cream foliage that I'll show you in a minute. Okay, so we'll just move the Aquilegia down so that I can show you the peony a bit better. And in spring, who on earth can resist peonies? And I must tell you, the garden centre that I visited had a wealth of beautiful peonies, particularly the Ito hybrids, which is an intersectional cross between herbaceous peonies and tree peonies, and I very nearly succumbed, but in the end I went for this herbaceous peony, which is called Tomcat, and is beautiful because it has flecks, and I love like deep double peonies with lots and lots of petals that have kind of little flecks of a different colour in between. So unfortunately I see no buds on this one this year, but nice dark foliage. And we must always remember that many peonies give us glorious autumn foliage too. Not something you'd expect from a perennial, but definitely something that makes it a very garden worthy plant. Okay, so now let's move on over here to the Euphorbia. And I have treated myself to the most glorious Euphorbia. Now, euphorbias are an enormous group that extend from cacti. In fact, they're not cacti, they're succulents, but they look and feel like cacti, to perfectly garden-worthy plants like this one here. And I absolutely love the cream and green foliage, which is going to look absolutely amazing against the dark foliage of the Ravenswing here. Isn't that a winning combination? And of course the Euphorbia has these glorious cream flowers that are really gorgeous. Now Euphorbias need lots of sun. This type of Euphorbia needs lots of sun, and it needs space, and you can go wrong if you kind of squeeze it in between things in a shady position. It's not going to like that. I guess it's a kind of short-lived perennial that doesn't stick around for too long. But if you give it a good position, you can have it for many years. And yeah, and that's wonderful. And I really shouldn't have it too close to my face because, as we all know, many euphorbias have a milky sap, which is an irritant. Okay, so what's next? Yes, this one here. And this is a wallflower. It's a perennial wallflower called Bowles Mauve, and this is one a friend of mine introduced me to many moons ago, and she was completely enamored by this plant because it was easy, because it seeded about, and because it was always in flower. Now, not in deadly winter, but in spring, in summer, in autumn, it was always in flower. And many people turn up their noses at very ordinary plants like this, but if something gives you that much value in your beds and your borders, then how could you possibly resist? And I think perhaps this is maybe a short-lived perennial because I lost mine that my friend gave me. And hello, Linda, if you're listening, thank you very much. So I went to buy it again, and I am going to proudly plant this wallflower in my garden and look forward to much joy and flowering all through the year. Now, you'll have to forgive me because I'm having a moment here. The scent from this rhododendron is to absolutely die for. And if you enjoy the Daphne called Jacqueline Postel that I know and love and grow in my garden, and I've talked so many times about the wonderful scent on it, if you like the scent from Jacqueline Postel, then you are gonna love the amazing scent on Rhododendron Lady Fitzwilliam. This is the queen of rhododendrons, and if you can only plant and grow one rhododendron in your whole garden, in your whole life, then let it be this one, because this is fantastic. And this is not the first time that I grow this plant. In fact, I have one already in the garden that's been there for like 12 years, and she's done really well and she's really big. And you're going to have to check back to my garden update videos to see her when she eventually comes into flower, because she's not in flower yet. Not like this precocious divil who's decided to flower in the shop. But I always said to myself, if I see another Lady Alice Fitzwilliam, I'm going to buy it. And I did, and I bought it. And I know exactly where I am going to plant this beautiful bush. I'm going to plant it in a position where we will see it a lot, and it is going to be my daughter's birth tree. Now, my daughter obviously originally had a birth tree, but it died, so I was looking for something really special to replace it with, and this is the one. Now, the foliage is a lot better than most rhododendron foliage. Rhododendron foliage is very dark green and very glossy, looks great all through the winter when there's nothing else in the garden, when you've a whole load of deciduous trees and shrubs that have died back. But by the time summer comes around and you're still looking at that dense dark green glossy foliage, it can seem quite dour and heavy in a garden setting. But this shrub is not like that at all. It has these very kind of light and dainty leaves, and of course this is one that you grow, and you grow it for the flowers, because when this thing is in flower, it's absolutely amazing. Now, my other one, the old one that I have in the garden, I've planted near the greenhouse so that I smell it when I visit the greenhouse at this time of year, and I planted it in a very sheltered position, because this is kind of, I guess, a borderline hardy shrub. So it's hardy down to -10, they say, and I'll put the Fahrenheit equivalent up on the screen here, which means, you know, if we got a bad winter here, we could lose it. So when I got my original Lady Alice, I put her in a very sheltered position, and she's done grand. She's gotten really big and beautiful. And now I'm going to risk with this one putting it in a less sheltered position, and hopefully it will reward me by doing well. Anecdotally, other people have told me that they've managed with it outdoors, so yeah. One other thing, because it's a rhododendron, of course it needs acid soil, and I have naturally acidic soil here in the garden, so I do well with rhododendrons. If you don't have naturally acidic soil, my best advice to you is not to grow rhododendrons in the ground, including this beauty. But what you could do is grow it in a pot, and you can grow this in a pot that you'll want to put in your conservatory when it's in flower, because the scent is absolutely amazing. Not amazing, not overpowering, I'd say. Now, having said that, I'm not the kind of person who's really good on scent. There are some people out there who can smell a chicken fart in the next county, and I'm not among them. But this one I absolutely love, and the pinkish tinge on it, including the pink new buds, is a wonderful, gorgeous, fabulous new feature. Have I convinced you yet? I hope I've convinced you, because let me say it again, if you grow only one rhododendron in your life, let it be this one. And if you don't have acidic soil, then grow her in a pot. She really, really is worth it. Okay. And I guess that kind of brings me to the end of this video, which I hope you've enjoyed. And yeah, hope you're getting on with your gardening and enjoying what the weather is throwing at you. Hopefully nothing too violent. And I will see you very soon on the next video. Bye.